Hi, this is Miles McGuire from the Oshkosh Examiner, and thanks for joining us as we get to know the candidates who are running for mayor this spring. Um, we are joined today by Kris Larson, who is well known in the community, but I think is making his first foray into electoral politics. So we'll start with this, Kris. Tell us about yourself. Why are you running, and what qualifications would you bring to the job?
Sure, Miles. That was a lot of questions in one. You just told me to be brief. How am I going
I
to do
know
that when
I
I'm just kidding?
cheated. Sorry.
Yeah. Briefly, my name is Kris Larson. I am an Oshkosh resident. I own a couple of small businesses in downtown Oshkosh. I live downtown Oshkosh. I'm from here. Spent some time up north. Spent some time in Madison. I forgot your questions in order. Why am I running for office
Right.
now? That was
And,
second, right?
and your qualifications. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been active in the community since I came back here to open the restaurant. So about 13 years ago. I'm still currently on your downtown Oshkosh Business Improvement District Board. I'm on your Oshkosh Convention and Visitors Bureau Board. And there's a big long list of other things I've been a part of on behalf of the community at our website, which is voteoshkosh.com. And why I'm running now is it's a good time for me to affect some change, in my opinion. I've seen some things that I don't like in the last handful of years, not tragedies by any means, but things that I think could use some refinement. And I have some ideas as to how I think I can help make that better.
Right. Okay. As you know, Oshkosh has both a mayor and a city manager. And I'm wondering how you think that arrangement is working, and if you think there are ways to kind of improve that relationship.
This is my favorite question. I was going to thank you for asking it in your survey a little bit ago. It's been very refreshing in the past probably 3 weeks to see a lot of people talking about the council manager form of local government, which is what we have here. So I'm going to take one step back from your question, if you don't mind, for a minute, Miles. I'm in general in very much favor of that form of government for a municipality our size. I think it makes sense. I think there are massive cost-saving measures with that method, and compared to other ones that we might use. To your specific question, I think it works great for the most part. That is part of what I think needs some refinement. And there's some broader refinement if you watch some other interviews I've given and some of the things I've been talking about that we can talk about as well. But to answer your question, broad stroke, I think it works great. It can work better as far as efficiencies go. And it's a long and short of managerial thing. Council's job is to manage our city manager. City manager's job is to manage the city. To expound on the rest of that, you did tell me short answers, and this isn't that. So I'm sorry. But the rest of that, to answer your question with specificity, is I do not personally think there's need or necessity for a mayor in that equation. I think we might be better served with a council president that's elected by the council. I think at times the fact that we have a mayor confuses the general public by a little bit. And there are instances that arrive where if you're on a council seat currently, but it's not your cycle, you can run for mayor, in which we then appoint that seat if it becomes vacant. And I'm not sure that's fair to the general populace either.
Okay. All right. Good. Um, in every election cycle, I think costs always come up as a very common complaint. You know, we've got taxes going up and fees going up. What would be your approach to address this concern?
I share all those concerns as I'm a citizen here and a property owner and a business owner. And I mean, we probably do a better job than it appears, first of all. I think there's some people on council who do a great job paying very close attention to the budget, and that's important. I know there's some people running who also do that same thing. That's not precisely budgetary politics, isn't exactly my wheelhouse, even though I run businesses, which is some of that for sure. The answer to your question that I think I can help add to is with some efficiencies, refinement, I think we can find some other more creative methods in the future that help to offset some of those raisings of taxes and still provide better services for people and make that better without raising taxes. But it requires some critical thought and it requires some efficiencies that we lack currently.
Okay. Um, what do you think the city can do to improve the local economy? And I'm thinking both about what can be done to help local businesses and what can be done to help individual workers.
Sure. I mean, the COVID, of course, presents some opportunities for that where it's a necessity now more than it ever has been before. And I'm pleased that there are some examples that we can point to in the last year or so. One of which is in particular, and there's some bias because you just heard me say that I'm on the Convention and Visitors Bureau board. some of the initiatives that they've put together to literally drive traffic in Oshkosh over this in a safe manner and just encourage people to get out and support local things have been great. We should have been doing that a long time ago. I don't know that that's specifically the city's role and probably not city council's role to do that on their own. It's probably not individual counselors' job to bring those types of things to the table, but to be able to support them when they come up, like we did a great job getting together with the CPB to do that. That's what I think is going to be imperative going forward, and we can do better at that.
Okay. And then how about anything for individual workers? Do you have thoughts about helping people there?
Yes, some of that comes with it, I'd like to believe. I mean, we're lucky that we have all kinds of sizes of different businesses in Oshkosh, like most cities do. I'm, of course, in the small business realm, and there are different ways we can support and not support. Initiatives like what we're doing are still the most important in that realm. There's minimum wage changes coming. They're going to come no matter what, and I'm in general very supportive of them. So that's a good starting point. And then being able to move forward with other things as they come forward is the next step.
Okay. All right. And then my last question for you is this: what would be your top priorities for the city?
Mine's easy, and it's going to sound really redundant if you keep reading what I'm typing. I am efficiency first and foremost, period, and end of story. And that, I know that's a little too vague for some people, but that's where I truly think we're lacking. So Ricky, the question comes up, and rightly so, what are my list of things that I would do? There aren't any. I don't think that I should be, I don't think if I was voting for me or not voting for me, it wouldn't be on account of what my personal agenda is for things to move forward. Where I think we need improvements is the ability to make decisions rather than discuss things and table them. I think council needs to be better prepared before we get there. We need to be more willing to act when things come before us. We've got a myriad of wonderful committees and business groups and other people in the community who have great ideas. We just need to be able to better implement them when they show up. And that's my fear as to what's happening, what's not happening right now. See, the most boring answer, I'm sorry.
Not at all. Thanks very much, Kris. I really appreciate you taking the time to chat with us, and we'll be in touch as we go forward.
I appreciate you asking, Miles. Any questions, I can be at voteoshkosh.com anytime, and I love questions, and I'll answer them all, I promise.